What is happening on Minnesota Vikings Man 28? And the Minnesota Vikings win against the Jacksonville Jaguars 27-24. But I'm going to cut it short on the lights because that was a terrible, terrible game uh, by the Vikings. We should have, blown them out. But Jacksonville being, sneaky, the gang, they've been close with, Green Bay and Cleveland. Cleveland, who's now good for some reason. Um, but yeah, the Jaguars, put up a showing. They're 1-11 now, but we are 6-6 and still alive for the playoffs as the Rams are winning 14-7 as I speak right now. Um, and the Vikings got off to a slow start, especially with the news. But right before the game, that Eric Hendricks injured his calf. Now that was a big blow to our defense, where Jaguars took advantage of that early on, and had some good running room. I'll just go over the stats. James Robinson had 78 yards for one touchdown. A lot of that was more early on, but we soon figured out on defense, but it took longer than it should have had. It's one thing, one or two drives, but it kept going on and on and on for our defense to get it together. So yeah, Mike Lennon, 28 of 42. He threw the ball 42 times, 280 yards, one touchdown, two interceptions. Receiving, Colin Johnson was their leading receiver, actually, with 66 yards. Tyler Eifert next with 45 yards. You get to the player, DJ Shark. I don't know why I said it looked like Clark, but Shark. 41 yards on only two catches. So yeah. And then Mike Lennon had a fumble. Chris Conley had a fumble that we got on. And then Joe Schobert's got an interception. That was for a touchdown. Defense for the Jaguars, they got 4 sacks. They got 4 sacks on us. Offensive line, Brian O'Neill. One of the best right tackles, just did not. The whole offensive line. I should say the whole offensive line didn't have a good day. But Brian O'Neill, expect better from you. They're kicking. Chase McLaughlin was 1 of 2. Only made a 22-yard field goal. Had a very long field goal attempt at the end, which he missed. Now the Vikings offense. Kirk Cousins. His stats: 28, 43, 305 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But when we had didn't get third downs or whatever, didn't get sacks, you got sacked. You just holding on to the ball. You need to throw it away, make some smarter moves. Just Dalvin Cook. Jaguars balled him up for the most part, but then as the game wore on, they couldn't contain Dalvin Cook. So he had 32 carries, 120 yards, 0 touchdowns, but that is okay. Now, receiving wise, Justin Jefferson, that is the player of the game again for the Minnesota Vikings. 9 catches, 121, and a touchdown. Has over 1,000 yards now on the season. Allen Thielen, 8 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. So our wide receiver duo is doing great. And then Dalvin Cook had 6 catches, 59 yards. Fumbles, Kirk Cousins lost a fumble. I just hate this. And interceptions, Harrison Smith and Cameron Dantzler got both interceptions. Also, Cameron Dantzler recovered a fumble. On defense, we got half sack. Let me see, half, 2 sacks. Oh, this defensive line they can get pressure, but they can't get sacks. This is just frustrating by the Vikings defense. And then we cannot forget the big loser of today. Even though he got us our game-winning field goal of 20-something yards, Dan Bailey. Dan freaking Bailey. Dan Bailey, 2 of 3 on field goals. Longest one was 48 yards. He, uh, he was 1 of 3 on extra points. The early miss, okay, that's whatever. Then he missed another extra point, just like getting frustrated. And then to win the game in the fourth quarter, he missed it. I mean, he redeemed himself, but it was a chip shot. You make that. And the game-winning field goal to win it, he should have made that too. Dan Bailey. I don't know. Well, we need to some competition for him just so we can get motivated. I don't know. But let's just go over scoring drives real quick. So touchdown for the Jaguars. That was Michael into Chenault. The deflection, crazy touchdown. 6-0 after they missed an extra point. Then they got a 22-yard field goal to make it 9-0 Jaguars. Second quarter, Kirk Cousins to Thielen, 3-yard touchdown, 9-6, and then we missed the extra point. Third quarter, first play after Kirk Cousins throws an interception for a touchdown, 16-6 Jaguars. Then we score a touchdown, pass short to C.J. Ham, 16-13 Vikings. Then another touchdown to Justin Jefferson for 20 yards. That's 19-16 Vikings. Missed extra point. Dan Bailey looking at you. Fourth quarter, we got a safety on the Jaguars, 21-16. That was good by our defense. Then a field goal to make it 24-16. That was a 48-yard field goal. And then the Jaguars, Mike Zimmer defense, can't stop the touchdown for Robinson, 1-yard touchdown. And they got the 2-point conversion. We couldn't even stop the 2-point conversion. And it was just sloppy in overtime. Refs, the offensive pass interference, but there wasn't an offensive pass interference on Jefferson. Then we put the ball back, and then Glennon throws the interception to Harris Smith in Jaguar territory. We go down the field and get very close to the end zone. Then we kick the game-winning field goal. So now we're 6-6. As I'm still recording, it is now 17-7 Rams. So looking like as of right now, the Vikings will be the 7th seed. That is good, but we need to do better. We got 4 games left: Bucks, Bears, Saints, Lions. So big game next week against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. If we can win, we'll move into the 6th seed, assuming Cardinals lose today. So yeah, this has been Miss Vikings Man 28, and as always, Skull.